Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. And I am really, really happy to see you today. We are going to do a bunch of good things. And let's see. Last time we met, we didn't have everybody with us. So we did a little bit of really heavy RP, and that's something we're going to repeat off and on as we don't have everybody present. And the goal really last week was to understand the characters' backstories a little bit more, and also give you an idea of how they met and how they interacted with each other. And we stepped right into a full improvisational sort of mode. What we ended up doing was, sort of framing some events, and then doing straight improvisation as part of that relationship. And good stuff. What we'll be doing today is we're going to be moving forward in what we've been doing in the current timeline and the now of the game, working in the Dungeons of Castle Blackmoor to really figure out everything that's going on. Um, as always, Tad's table rules. I have the players always roll things in the tower, especially skill checks, perception checks, things like that, and that gives them the ability to, make the die roll, which I think is stunningly important for a lot of players. It is for me when I'm playing, but at the same time, they're responding to the feedback I give them and not the mechanics of the roll, and I think that's a good thing for all of us. Secondly, and this is pretty important, this is a role-playing game, and we assume that we are in character if unless we say otherwise. So if you are trying to scam the merchant prince and the merchant prince is, present, well, not going to work so well. He's going to hear you. So keep in mind that anything that the players say is in character unless we have stated otherwise or we're clearly in a non-RP environment. So if you're in the hallway in the dungeon and you turn around and you say something relatively loudly, the DM notes that, and if there were things in the area, they may be aware of that and respond to that in very specific ways. So, before we go any further, I'm going to have the players introduce themselves really quickly and talk about two things, folks: who you are, how you can connect with folks, and secondly, what your goal is for the stream and the adventure today. And actually, I think we'll start with Jen today. Jen actually has some interesting news. You may notice a shift in background. She is in a new place, and I'll let her talk about that. Hey, Jen.
Hi. I recently relocated to Virginia. I'm very happy about that. It's a much bigger house. It may not look like it because you only get to see this much of my house. Um, you will not get a tour. That will not happen. But I play Jenna Bink. She's a gnome, and I'm hoping today, especially after the interesting role play last time with Idris, to expand upon my feelings of confusion at Idris's social status. So we'll see where that goes today.
PJ, why don't you, talk to us a little bit?
Sure. My name is Philip Slamma. I play Idris Regan. You can find me just on Facebook. That's the only place I'm really at, or on the Come Back In forums. You'll find me there as Arkenolith. Um, for this session, I think it's going to be delving a little bit more into what happened in the flashback situation as we flesh out the character, realizing that he wants to be a bard. Idris, what I found out was he actually has two singles stashed away: Greatest Blackmoorian Hero and Careless Healing, which he'll drop at some point in the future for all of you. They're great songs. He says the best, the best. So yeah, it looks like Bard is going to be a serious fallback plan for him, and looking forward to playing that out in character a lot more now that we got some good improvisational lyrics going on in this group. So, yep, that's where I'm headed.
Matt, we missed you last week.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm playing Penny, the Dokkai Ranger of the group. I do not have any social presence or like media outlets, but drink Celsius water. It's delicious. Um, Out of this session, I kind of hope to figure out how Idris is going to talk his way through these rat people things. I don't see a lot of common grounds for them to relate. So I feel like it's going to be an interesting role-playing session to see how he resolves that. I'm intrigued to see how that plays out.
Jimmy, my partner in crime. Jimmy, talk to us about who you are, what you do, and what you want for Delbert this session.
Hi, um, I'm For Santo on Twitch. As far as Delbert goes, I think that I'd like to explore a little bit about what it means to be a war wizard in Blackmoor and um, survive this first little foray into the dungeons of Blackmoor.
So, folks, one of the things I'm going to do intermittently here, and I'm just going to sweep aside the curtain as the DM for a second, is if you saw the first episode, you know the players were exposed to someone who'd been possessed by the Egg of Coot, and I made everybody make a saving throw versus the darkness. One of the things I'm doing as a house rule for the table for Blackmoor is I am going to make folks, if they drop into negative values, make a saving throw. And that saving throw is going to be sort of noted over in my notes file and on their character sheet, is their proximity to madness, their proximity to potentially possession, their proximity to any number of things that they're not certain of, but they can feel their sanity slip. So when someone is at death's door in the dungeons of Castle Blackmoor, surrounded by the black rock that's so infused with mystical power that feeds all of the north, with the power that causes sorcerers and feeds Wakans and all these different things out in Blackmoor, when someone drops into negative, hit points, when somebody goes down, when they almost die, when that happens, there's an opportunity for influence. And so, to that end, as anybody falls under, you're going to see me stop and ask them to make a roll. Now, we had one 2 sessions ago. Our colleague Delbert ended up, being struck down and then surrounded by his friends and lifted up. And what I'd like Delbert to do now, to that effect, is Delbert, you may choose to make an intelligence, a charisma, or a wisdom save, your choice. And when you pass into the darkness and you feel the shadows pressing upon you, voices whispering in your ear, things saying, "Come to us, please. We have things for you. Do you hear the coot, the coot, the coot?" When you hear that, tell me how you resist that, what your response is, what die you're going to use, and then go ahead and make a saving throw.
So, Delbert's seen this, and because he's seen it in action, he's a little more prepared for it than what the party was when we were first exposed to it. Plus, he's resisted it once before, so his training as a wizard of the Cabal has prepared him to resist this kind of mental manipulation just a little bit. I'm going to make an intelligence roll.
Please do.
I said intelligence roll, not stabby roll.
All right. You successfully make your roll. You actually made a check. You could have made a saving throw, but you made your roll. And what happens to you when you are in the darkness, when you're surrounded? All right. There's a voice. All right. And the voice says, "You have a type of power. You are part of the Cabal. And I know you want to do good things for your family. I know you want to protect the weak. I know you want to raise their name. I know you want to make Blackmoor a better place. But there's a sort of power that I can offer you that will make you better and greater and more able to help all those that you love." And you wall yourself off from that and you shut it down and you say, "No, no, no." And you come back into the light with your friends standing around you. And that's
Did you guys?
Go ahead.
Did you guys hear that? Was that just me?
The only thing we've heard is the sound of you hitting the floor.
Nonsense. I didn't fall down. One of you
No,
must have
you
pushed
most
me
certainly
down.
did.
Yeah, I remember you falling down, and then she poured something in your mouth, and you got back up.
Is that what that taste is?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's pleasant actually.
that's what I imagine.
It's very sweet.
I think this is the fruit punch flavor.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, boss. All right, bad things happen, and one of them things poured out of the pillow there, and it dropped down, and it kind of like beat down on you, right? And everybody hit on the other side. It looked like Hayden to me. Just saying. Just saying. Everybody hit on the other side of the room. Like you take the freaking beat down, you went down, right? And then everybody came running up to protect you. Now, Jenna Bink, I think, was trying to come and help you. Actually, Jenna Bink is the one that made the thing come out of the pillow and trying to get a face. But anyhow, she ran away. The other guys hid in the corner and beat on other stuff. And meanwhile, all these things piled up around you and kind of turned you into what we would refer to as a buffet where I come with. Isn't that right? All right. And the other rat, you know what I mean, Bright Eyes, looks over at Quickfoot and goes, "Yeah, that's what kind of what it looked like to me. Do you? Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Yeah."
Well, um, thank you for giving me the potion. I'm happy to be alive.
So, Quickfoot comes over, grabs hold of your robe, pulls himself up on your shoulder, and sits on your shoulder up, and he goes, "Now listen, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to be your personal guide and assistance moving forward. If you have any issues at all, I'm going to give you a little bit of field advice here, all right? You know what I mean? So I'm just going to do that for you, all right? Just because I think that's just the way we should have a relationship here, right? Now you're a wizard, right?
Yes.
All right, very good. Just wanted to understand. I thought so because you threw up this magical force thingy and it bounced like swords off it or tried to and stuff. And didn't you like make all these blue things shoot out of your hand and blow a hole in something? I remember seeing that too, right?
Yes.
All right, very good. So I'm going to stay here. Maybe it's not. Maybe I should go over on the armored guy over there with the with the big glowing sword. I don't know. Well, I'll stay with you for now. Maybe we can work something out long term. I do really appreciate everything you've done for me so far. So what do you guys want to do anyhow? You want me to take you over to the lady? What do you want to do?
Yes, if you could take us to your queen, that would be greatly appreciated.
All right. So I'm looking forward to this. Now, I'm kind of thinking that, all you got to do is kind of suck up to a little bit. You know what I mean? Tell her what's going to go on, and, I think there's an opportunity for you to help her out because all she wants, right, is she wants us to get back to the sky, right? Because we haven't been around this sky. Now, since we've been away from the sky and we've been down here in this place, we're a lot smarter than we used to be. But I'm telling you, we kind of miss it because the food down here sucks. There's no good food. You got to scavenge and everything's trying to, like everything tried to eat us. All right. So I think about that. All right. That's what I'm thinking. And then, of course, the other rat's like, no, what I think's going to happen is you're going to be the fucking buffet and I'm just along to get a piece of it. I don't think she's going to respond for shit to you. But hey, I'm more than willing to walk you right in there. So let's go. You guys all rolling?
Yes.
All right. Okay. The light sources we were using, how are we doing that?
Oh, the lantern
Uh,
or the torch.
Jenna, Jenna Bink has a hooded lantern.
All right. So we will advance up the hallway. Go ahead and start moving your counters.
I'll go
Uh,
first, unless you want to go. Oh yeah.
no, you can go, man. I'll let you lead the way. It should be relatively untrapped, hopefully.
Yeah, Idris, like in all of his, he's not wearing breastplate. He's wearing chainmail. He's like sneaking from side to side, or trying to at least, like leaning up against the walls, looking around corners, um, using his steel mirror to look around. That kind of stuff.
So you roll up to the corner. The light surrounding it reaches down to the door in front of you. You look around the corner. You see that there's several doors along this hallway. All right. There's a door down here past you, and then there's an open archway down on the end. And then beyond that, you can see an area of rubble where looks like there was a cave in at some point. And you all can hear as you come into this area a background sort of noise. It's, the faintest sort of chitter. So you hear, and you can hear it in the background. And it's all, there's like motion You can feel and hear in the walls next to you, and there's this constant background chitter and grind. All right, and the air has changed. So this has been a dry place for the most part. There hasn't been really any heavy or thick smells. It's been dry, and had the smell of must, occasionally mold and dust. And as you passed into this area, it's a more fecund smell. You smell faintly rot, but then that dry, well, not really dry, that moist, fecund smell of waste and manure. And it doesn't smell like a sewer, doesn't really smell like a barnyard, but it smells faintly like feces, is the only way to describe it. Now, Penny, you know this smell. All right, you used to hunt rats to eat when you were stuck in the Afridi prison camps, and this is what it smells like when you're deep in a lair of rats. When you pop open a rat's nest and the babies squeal and run in all directions, and the mother rears up and bares her teeth. There's the smell of, well, meat and rot and, well, waste. So the air is shifted and you're in a different place. And the rats look up at you and they're riding on the giant rat that they told you they'd named number 14. And they're heading down the hallway to your right or directly to the south. Do you follow? Any precautions you'd like to take?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll be cursorily searching behind to see if there's any hidden doors or anything weird.
All right, so what I see going on, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, all right, is Idris is in the front, and Idris has his sword out, and he's being as cautious as he can, as quiet as he can, which is hard to do in heavy armor. Directly behind him is Penny, and Penny is looking over her shoulder, but then she's looking at the walls she's seeing, just keeping her eyes peeled. And then Jenna's walking, looking forward at Idris's back, seeing Penny face behind her, and then in the rear with um, Quickfoot on his shoulder is Delbert. Is that correct?
Sounds accurate.
Very good.
Yeah, Jenna is walking forward. She has the lantern in one hand and her shield in the other. So
Okay. All right. So the rats come here and they turn around, and you're following them all the way down, right?
yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Fairly decent sized room, rubble. Shaped out of the rubble at the top of the pile seems to be, looks like a little chair almost. So there's a slab of rock kicked back and there's slab on arms, right? And there's like a piece of sackcloth thrown over top of it that's dyed a pale yellow, all right? And off to the right and left, there's a whole bunch of little rat babies scurrying around. And this is a big white rat. She's sort of crouched up, sitting on the chair, and there's swarms of rats on the floor around her. I mean, probably three or four. And then there are three big rats that sort of pip up and sniff the size of number 14. And then there are some larger adult rats. All right. And she goes, "So, who is this that comes to us? Ah! I am only eating you, not eating you. I'm only not eating you because," and she points over at number 14, and she points over at Bright Eye. She goes, "They come with you?" She sniffs. She sniffs again. She goes, "Who is this? Who is this? Where are the rest of the scouts?"
I kick Idris. I think she's talking to you. Right? This is the part where you do your fancy word stuff.
Well, I believe she was talking to number 14. She's asking him, who are these people?
Quickfoot says, "Yeah, so we were out on patrol with one of the ratmens, and they was getting us all killed fighting spiders, boss. And these folks came in and whacked down all the spiders, and they helps us. And 'cause the ratmans was dead, we figured we'd bring them to you so you could make some decisions about what you thought was the thing to do." And she goes, "Who else has survived? Are you alone with your mount?" And she goes, "No." And Bright Eyes goes, "No, Quickfoot's hiding in the back on somebody's shoulder. I think he's scared. This was all his idea. I figured we should just take off, but he said bring the Yumis." And Quickfoot pops down. All right, squares down your leg, runs down the length of the hallway, sticks his head around and goes, "Oh, excuse me. Oh, great one. I want to introduce you to wonderful humans who are on our side and will help us get back to Sky." And he looks up at Idris.
He goes, "Yes, my furry friend. We did help save them from the spiders and from some insane creatures that came out of the columns. We're big on saving and helping people. I mean, I love the sky too. You love the sky. I was just up there about 2 hours ago. I can get you there, and we can make this a great partnership. I also heard you guys are scavenging for food. I have lots of food up where there's sky, where I want to be up there. You could come with me and get food, and we could make this a great partnership and come together."
So, humans come, humans get killed all the time. Humans come from above, humans get eaten and they dies. So why are you different from the other humans that get eaten all the time? We find their bodies, we strip their stuff for the rats, for the rat men. Yes, we do. So why are you different? Why should I think that there is anything other than death for you? And as you're standing here, Delbert, behind you, there are rats collecting in the hallway directly behind you. All right, and coming out of the rubble down here are a few more rats, and you're noticing that there are rat holes all along the walls and stuff here, and you're starting to see more and more rats sort of come in here and around you. All right, so there are probably 7 or 8 rat swarms here now. The floor's kind of carpeted with rats. There's probably easily a dozen, if not a little bit more, of normal adult rats, and about 9 of the large rats now. And of course, she's a big normal rat. Big normal rat. She goes, "So, what makes you different from other humans? Why should I think you will not just be dead, huh?"
Well, I've clearly defeated not one, not two, not three, but four of these giant spiders, five of these smaller ones, four of these carrion crawlers, and I'm still here to talk about it. I've brought my associates, Jenna Bink, Penny, and Delbert, and between the four of us, we represent even more powerful forces above. I believe an alliance would serve us well. I mean, clearing out this level is of interest to ourselves, and if we are able to take out your enemies as well, I mean, you guys seem to be amazing scouts. We didn't even see you until it was too late. You have many talents, things that we could learn from you. You know, this is a great opportunity. If
First thing, you grossly overstated the amount of enemies you overcome. Could you please make a deception check?
Sure.
Mm. All right. Second thing, she says, "And talk to me about the return to Sky. How will you bring us back into the light in the night where the moon comes and kisses us? Hmm?"
Well, my family is well funded throughout the North, and I can use their resources and contacts to help you find that area. But while we're doing that, I figured you could come and move into my large apartment, and we could make that partnership work up above where you can see the sunlight and the sky and not have to worry about being eaten by creatures here.
PJ, do you need to make a deception check about bringing them into your apartment?
No, that's a legit
Total offer.
goal.
All right. She's like,
Yeah.
words are words, but I would say give us tribute. Hmm? Show us that you will support us, and we will consider what you say.
Sure. I reach into my. I tell them I'm going to reach into my bag, open up my bag, and I pull out 15 days worth of rations, and I place them on the floor right before, and I go, "This is for you and your children, so they can grow up strong and healthy and be just as great as the other compatriots we have already met here."
So you reach in, you take off your backpack, and
Yep.
undo the buckles, you pull it out, and you pull out a chunk of bread and you toss it, and it hits the ground, and the rats hit it. All right, and you pull out a chunk of dried sausage and you throw it, and the rats hit the ground. And what starts to happen is they're pouring around your legs. All right, for everybody in the hallway, this wave of rats comes charging around you, and Idris is throwing food out. All right, and they're scurrying up on your shoulders. They're digging into your backpack looking for additional food. So
Penny
you're
will
You
slowly
can
back away from Idris.
all
you
right.
can just call me the Candy Man.
All right. Now I do need all of you. All right, because the rats are crawling all over you. All right, they're like trying. They see him giving food, and so they're like getting in your backpacks. They're crawling all over you and stuff, trying to find out if there's more food and stuff. I do need all of you to make a Constitution save.
I'm gonna throw a hero point on that.
Um, Idris, saving throws you guys can roll out of the tower. I'm sorry. So Idris, you got a 19. Jenna Bink, you got a 10. Delbert, you got a 16. You're 5. Um, Penny, you got a 5. All right. So Jenna and Penny, you
I'll
guys are
burn inspiration.
go for it.
Always on the short folk. What is it with the short folk?
You're
Okay.
lower to the ground.
I will
All right.
also burn an inspiration. I'm
Uh,
inspired by his burning of inspiration.
You think you could go ahead and burn an inspiration.
Son of a.
We're really good at this
Uh,
stuff.
Jenna Bink,
Maybe you should burn incense instead.
you may drop a hero point on that. You think you're very close. DC's 12 on this, folks.
Yeah. Idris is just standing there like Ace Ventura in the first movie. Come to me, my animal friends.
Idris is.
All right, Jenna, go ahead and drop a D6 for a hero point. And you still don't make it. Okay, so
Yeah. I'm not listening to y'all anymore.
well, folks, just as a side note, Jen in our my home game that I run hardly ever misses a roll and is lethal and scary. In this game, karma would be evil to her. So Penny, you've slept at night, and the rats have crawled all over you, and they've bitten you. And you've tried to hoard and hide bread in the camp, and they've gotten to the bread, and they have, taken it from you and bitten your hand as you tried to fight them off, and it's like that. All right, you are terrified, terrified. You are frightened. You're gonna have to run, Jenna. You have never had things all over you like this before. All right, their little feet touch your face as they go down the side of your arm. They're not attacking you, but the smell is horrible. All right, and they crawl up into your sleeve and they're on your armor, and you're frightened. You have to run. So, Penny, Jenna, you're gonna have to move out and around the corridor. Go ahead and move yourselves one move with a dash.
As I see Genevieve running away, I call out to her, see, there's no substitute for real world experience. Being in a lab researching this, you would never experience the greatness that this is.
Look at your friends, they flee. They are scared, they run from us, and we love them. We was only trying to find more foods. More foods. All right. Idris, Delbert, Insight.
All right. One of my best qualities.
Delbert, you got one shot, and Idris seemed a little bit um, unaware of what's going on. He's cracking jokes, and the rats are getting very, very agitated, and you didn't get any feeling at all that the queen was amused by what you just saw happen. Are you going to communicate that to anyone or no?
Yes. Hey, Idris, let's go grab our friends.
I turn to Delbert and I look back and I'm like, the two short ones? Fine. I turn to the queen. We need to go retrieve the shorter people in our group. One moment, please.
You have more food. You are food. We will have it all.
Okay.
Now, Quickfoot looks up at you off of number 14 and goes, all right. Um, or Bright Eyes looks up and goes, Quickfoot jumps and grabs hold of your cloak and is swinging. Are you leaving?
I tell them this is no way to build a friendship here. I mean, I offer these gifts to show my gratitude, but my ire can be just as deadly.
Excellent. Are we trying to intimidate or are we trying to persuade? Delbert, go ahead and take a. Are you taking a move or are you hanging out here?
Um,
I'm going with the intimidation.
All right,
I,
hang on. Delbert first. Delbert, are you hanging out here or no?
I'm gonna. I'm not gonna run while Idris is at their mercy. So I'll stay here for the moment.
Awesome. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
and as I'm doing the intimidation check, I take another pouch out that looks like my one that has food, but it's actually the one full of my 10 oil flasks. Oh yeah, truly Nolan's about to light this place up.
They all back away. All right, hissing. Okay. They back away, seriously hissing, like, oh my God, scared. See that? All right. And she looks at you and she goes, I will let you leave, but you must leave all your food.
That's fine. I prefer to capture more flies with honey than with fire, and I take out the other pack and I leave the other half of my rations here.
Okay.
And I say to her, I go, this can be a great partnership, but we just have to trust each other.
We know how to flee. We can run ourselves. We do not need you to teach us that. Go before I change my mind. Are you heading out?
Yes, I bow, and then I head off, walking calmly after our frightened colleagues.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Give yourself inspiration for that exchange. All right, so, okay. Jenna and Penny, you guys get around the corner there and you can stop moving, okay? Go ahead and you're no longer afraid. You're catching your breath, all right? Penny, that was horrible. I mean, you still have nightmares about the rats, all right? And Jenna, it was all sensory for you. You had these things crawling all over you and you couldn't handle it. It was so revolting. All right, so you guys come back around the corner. All right, Delbert, Idris, move yourselves back where you need to be.
I swear I am turning my toy into a cat. I am making a flippin' cat. No more rats. No.
That went about as well as I thought it was with Idris talking. That's normally how things go when he opens his mouth, as we get covered by horrible animals and other terrible shit. But that went about how I expected. Yeah, 100%.
This
Good
wasn't my
job,
fault.
Idris.
This time it wasn't my fault. I didn't touch anything.
No, I
You're
mean,
fine.
Idris's mouth touched things, and that's normally just bad.
Well, we have an agreement. Everything is looking great. Quickfoot, where do we go from here?
Yes, my liege. Well, uh, Quickfoot drops down and he walks out around in front of you guys and he starts pacing in this area here, going back and forth with his little paws behind his back. He goes, well, I gotta, I kinda, so I gonna need to kinda hang out with you guys if you're alright with that because, well, I brought you there and I'm going to get eaten if I go back because she was pissed. I mean, I know you kinda think, Delbert, that, she's your friend and everything now, but all you did was meek them out so they didn't eat us because, she was pissed. I think, I don't know. I mean, you were saying some of the right things, but when everybody spazzed out and kind of ran, I mean, she didn't like that at all. So, can I kind of like hang out with you guys? I mean, is that okay?
Of course, you can ride with me, my friend. I think what we'll need to do after that horrible display of cowardice from half this group, we're gonna have to do something big.
No, no, no. We don't understand that. Okay, big. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm climbing up on your shoulder. So he jumps up, climbs up your cloak, gets on your shoulder. I thought it was a strategic withdrawal. I mean, I kind of understand it. You got two choices. You bite Or you run, and they will run, and you will bite. So I'm shutting up.
That's probably a good idea. And I'm thinking more that we just don't go talk to the rat people again, because you made a great first impression. Really, really
Oh,
stellar. Very winning
we
there.
we made the best. We showed them that we have the resources and the means
You,
to destroy them
you,
or their enemies. So now all we need to do is find their enemies, destroy them, bring their corpses back to them, and show them
you
we
just
mean business.
gave them all your food for free and then caused a bunch of rats to swarm all over us because you decided it was a good idea to pull out like 10 pounds of meat in front of a swarm of rats.
Of course. And next time, I may bring one of those big wine barrels over here, light it on fire, and roll it down their hallway and evict them permanently from their home.
That probably would have been wiser to do that in the first place if that was your plan, instead of just making a bunch of rats swarm all over us.
No, it's
No,
clear
no,
you don't
don't.
understand.
No, you don't understand. We talked about this before. Wine does not flame up like that. You can't. It doesn't just explode. You'd have a better time feeding them the wine and hoping they get drunk.
Oh, you can light people on fire with wine. I've seen it in a Cirque du Soleil performance. It was magical.
The percentage of alcohol necessary to perform that kind of thing is just too much higher than what is in your standard wine. The sugars and stuff will not cause the combustion to happen. Now, if one of us had whiskey, then we could certainly do that.
Well, Jenna, I would just like to remind you of our conversation a few weeks ago. Research is not the same as actually going out into the world. I've clearly set things on fire that shouldn't have burned before. It's a
Yes,
skill.
you've set that conversation on fire, apparently.
Oh, yes. Their hearts and minds.
Hang
And
on.
we will win them.
You can't head out just yet. Hang on.
See, she's calling us back.
Well, I'll be moving up to this door, Tad, to
So
check it out.
I'll give you a second.
I look down at Penny. I'm like, really? Rats running away from the rats? Come on, man.
Your mouth has already done enough damage today. Maybe you should keep that thing closed for a minute.
So clearly, I cannot finish my ethnographic study of the rats. So what are we going to do?
You have this rat right here on my shoulder. Study him. He's a
That is
prime
not an
specimen.
ethnographic study. See, in order to really understand the culture and the interactions of the rats, I need more than one.
That's why we do jobs for them, and they'll bring us in, and then everything will be great.
Okay, Delbert, what do you think? Because clearly you're the only one with enough sense around here to figure out what we're doing.
I think that we should probably be prepared to deal with the rats on an ongoing basis. They live here after all, and you can hear them scurrying in the walls.
There are rats coming. All right. One rat comes galloping out in front of the others, sees you, its nose comes up, and it goes, and it points. And then there's two swarms of rats pouring forward. And go ahead and, all right, everybody's passive. They are over in the larger chamber, starting to come towards you, and they are coming back from where the queen was. And they don't seem happy. Initiative, please.
Well, I'll take the one on an initiative roll.
You have a +8 to initiative? Jeez.
Yeah, it's a war wizard benefit. He gets a bonus to his intelligence to his initiative. Yes. All right. Okay. Penny. Let me get the clock reset here. Top of the order.
All right. Is there any way to bar this door?
It is if the one directly in front of you that you're standing in front of, you can close it, but you don't think you can bar it.
About the one where Idris is?
The one where Idris is, you can close it, but you can't bar it. Now, if you had spikes or you have wire or you have something, you could try and secure it that way.
I have many of those.
I've got thieves' tools and a python and that kind of stuff. Would I be able to? Think I would be able to jerry rig it to? I don't know, rig it some way.
So you are going to try and secure the door that Idris is on the other side of right now, correct?
No, what I was going to do is trying to ready an action that when Idris moves to the other side of the door to try and secure that door. So I'm basically setting it up to jam that door as soon as he gets through.
All right, so you're running over, you're interacting with your backpack, you're pulling out your gear, and then you're readying an action to do it when he comes through, correct?
Correct.
All right. Giant rat comes galloping right up behind Idris. Jenna.
Can I see all of the rats down the hallway?
You cannot. All right, you got a hard corner there. All right, you can hear them. You would have to move in a straight line with the doorway to see all the rats down the hallway.
I will then move to here.
All right.
And can I now see the rats?
You can see the rats, yes. And you could see the one giant rat around the corner by sticking your head around the corner before, but you couldn't see all the way down the hallway.
Okay. I will then, I'm not going to do anything with the rat right next to Idris because I'm assuming he can take care of himself. I will I will pull out my little squirt gun of acid and I will direct it down the hallway.
Very good.
Because, oh wait, we haven't had a long rest.
You have not.
I got one of them.
All right, so the rat that was in the scouting position that came around the corner and pointed at you and hissed, a ball of acid strikes it mid-torso and basically shears its body off. Its little legs twitch as the top part of it sort of dissolves underneath the impact of the acid. Anything else you'd like to do, Jen?
That's right. No more touching me. And now I'm done.
Inspiration. All right. And that rat hops up on the other rat's back. And you've seen them do that. Idris, there's rats all over you trying to chew through your armor.
This isn't how friends reciprocate. I don't want to hurt you, but you're not helping yourself.
Get on the other side of the door, you dummy.
Oh, that rat got popped. And that rat jams up there. Delbert, there's rats pouring in all over.
Okay. Um, I am going to um, cast sleep.
Do it.
I don't recall if it requires a saving throw in 5e.
Nope, just roll your d8s and then
Right.
count up some hit points.
Gotcha. The center is going to be, let's see, right there.
All right. 24. All right, so let's see. Let me get to it here for you. So much fun for the DM. All right, so I'm definitely going to put that rat out. And definitely going to put that rat out. And, DM has to make a call. All right. I think what I'm going to do with the rat swarms is the leftover damage. I'm not going to treat the rat swarms as, and this is just my judgment call right now. I think rules as written would say that the rats would be counted as one monster, but because the rats are composed of numerous individuals, I am going to take the extra damage and apply it as damage to the rat swarm as a bunch of the rats fall asleep. All right. Now, that's going to function as one round worth of delay as the rats wake back up. So I'm basically just going to pause one of them for one round. Everybody see what I'm doing?
That sounds fair and equitable.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Delbert turns around, casts a sleep spell. You see the two big rats slump, the one little rat riding it, waving its little paw, slump, and the rats around Idris, about a third of them fall off and hit the ground, and the rat swarm seems completely disorganized.
Gotcha.
And that rat rolls up next to the one next to it and starts chittering and pointing in. Idris, what would you like to do?
I'm very disappointed in their lack of hospitality. I am going to move back through the door. So 10, 15, and then Penny, you may jam it up.
Do you want me to do like
Thieves' tools, go right for it. It's going to be a
All right,
DC.
I'll be chittering with my little stuff.
You can roll this one open as a DC or 15. It's going to be straightforward, right? You're going to know if you do it or not. All right, so he comes through. You grab the door, you slam it. All right, you take wire and you wrap it around the length of it. You take a python, you jam the door, you wrap the other side of the wire, you draw it tight, you twist it, and you start pounding spikes in. Bang, 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 like a fucking machine. Sorry for the fucking machine, family-friendly table. Like a blessed machine. Which is Southern for fuck, by the way, if you didn't know. All right, so Idris goes.
Yeah, so I just move in. I'm going to, oops.
Idris, you owe me a python now too.
I have 20, my friend. We're good. As I move through, I'm going to cast Hex on myself. Oh, sorry, cast Hex. I'm going to put it on rat number 1, who's right next to me. I'm going to swing on rat number 1, and I'm like, why did you have to betray us like this? I was like, we could have done so many great things. He dies. I'm going to step into his square now with my move. And I'm going to stand there so I can get to the next one. And that's it for me.
Quickfoot. Let's see. Delbert cast sleep. You hacked one. All right. Quickfoot runs up Delbert and hides on his shoulder.
Okay.
All right. Good enough. They are
Get
all
a
over
no.
you.
It looks like a rat's nest over there.
Top of the order, round two. Penny, swarm of rats just poured through the door behind you.
Has it been more than an hour from the fight with the stuff coming out of the pillars?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, it has not.
No, it has not. All right. So would Hunter's Mark still be up then?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you
I
did something
will,
that would, you didn't do anything else you'd have to concentrate on, right?
correct. I have
You,
not cast any other concentration
you
spells.
didn't make any, hold it. You ran away frightened. You dropped it.
That breaks concentration.
Doesn't being frightened require a check at least, or am I in the wrong edition again?
It's just a condition. It doesn't require you to do that.
Okay, good enough.
Okay. I will shoot at the giant rat then.
Very good. And you could have your hunter's mark.
Cool. I will bonus action move it to him and then shoot at that guy. Thunk.
You pull up and sink an arrow deep in its side. It squeals and falls over on its side. Dead. All right. Okay, that was Penny. All right, so that giant rat is unconscious. Jettabink, they're all over you.
I said no touching.
All right, one little rat's gonna get a little chomp on you as you pop away, and it bites your ankle for a point of piercing damage. The swarm, however, does not get. Go ahead, do your attack.
Son of a.
All right, so you wave the little squirt gun, point it. All right, and acid strikes the ceiling and the wall beside them.
Fantasy Grounds needs a dice jail.
There's no substitute for experience. You have to roll with feeling when you throw your acid splash.
All right, rat comes up and tries to bite Penny. That rat is unconscious. That rat is unconscious. That rat is unconscious. This swarm of rats hits the door. All right, they're starting to come underneath the jam and stuff, but it's going to take them a bit to squeeze through. All right, this rat comes running in and goes after Idris. Idris, you are bit.
Oh, my perfect skin. I'll have to get that prestidigitation again.
This swarm can't really do anything. Delbert, you're up.
Okay. Let's go. First of all, I think I've got to move, and I'm going to yell
Hang
out.
on.
We need to go back to the entrance. This place isn't defendable.
Rat 13 takes a chomp at you when you moved away from him. He
Okay.
misses you. Go ahead. Anything else you want to do? In the room with you are 2 normal-sized rats and a swarm of rats.
I think I'll just use Toll the Dead.
All right.
Have
Bonk.
they been injured at all?
No. All right.
Okay. A dolorous bell sound fills the air once again.
And you see several of the little rats, some on the wall, some on the floor, some on top. Their little heads go poof, and just sort of explode from the horrible sound. All right. That rat will come in and move to there. And it will try and bite Penny. And it fails to bite Penny. Penny is very good at dodging rats, apparently. All right. Top of the round.
And he spent many years dodging rats.
Absolutely. Penny, you're up. Oh, am I wrong?
Uh,
Oh, no, it's Quickfoot. Excuse me. Meyer.
You skipped Idris, one of the best fighters in this group.
Yeah, I did. Map screwed me up. Go ahead, Idris.
I turned to Delbert. I'm like, get back on that door, soldier. It's a choke point. We need to hold it while we clear this room. Jesus! I thought you Wizard Cabal people knew how to do tactics. Always in the books. You're just like the little one. A bonus action. Move my hex onto the swarm of rats.
Delbert, you'll be able to talk trash back on your turn.
And I'm like just tearing into these guys, waving it all over the place.
Oh, yeah, you were like smack, 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 splattering them with sword strokes, skipping them up, flipping them in the air, tearing them apart.
Yep. I was like, you're ruining our friendship.
All right. Quickfoot is more than happy to hang out on Delbert's shoulder. Swarm of rats. Swarm of rats will move over onto you. And actually hit you. And you're in good shape. All right. Now we are at the top of the order, and now it is Penny's turn.
all right, Penny will attempt to, with disadvantage, skewer rat number 6 to a wall. And I'll bonus action move my hunter's mark to the rat.
So
Nice.
you bisect that rat, split it in half. Its top and its bottom fall in separate halves, and twitch and writhe.
Get away, you stupid rats. Oh my.
All right. Asleep. Those rats are actually starting to wake up because there's other rats crawling all over them, so I'm going to start removing conditions on them.
It's a quality 2 rounds.
Jenna Bink.
So I take a moment, I recalibrate my acid splash gun, and I go again. After also recalibrating fantasy grounds. A little better.
All right. Acid soaks into them. They scream and howl. All right. Well, that's one that's not dead. This rat.
Is the door open?
That one is. The other one is locked.
Okay, I am.
This rat steps into the swarm and disappears into the swarm.
This isn't how it's supposed to work. But I will take on all comers in the Grand Royale. I will lay your bodies at your queen's feet as proof not to stand against me and the storm I bring.
I have never wanted these rats to eat somebody more than I have right now.
I turn to Delbert and I just say offhand, kind of casually, you gotta sell it.
Do
All
you?
right. That rat is stunningly dead. All right. Giant rat 5 still ramming around outside, but he's no longer unconscious. That rat's trying to squeeze through the door with the rest of them. That rat swarm is crawling underneath the door and through the door. Took it a full round to get through, but it did. That rat steps into this swarm and disappears.
That door ain't gonna hold forever, guys. We need to stop moving.
Delbert, you are covered in a swarm of rats.
Is he?
Which swarm?
He is covered by Swarm 14, and
I guess all Hythonians look alike.
oh, oh,
Just like all short
Delbert.
people, man.
uh,
That's
Sorry.
true colors
Go ahead,
coming
Delbert.
out.
You are not covered by a swarm. So that's right.
okay. I'm headed for the egress, so I'm gonna switch places over here.
All right. Okay. What do you do next?
Toll the dead once again. On the swarm of rats that are on top of Idris. Can I target the swarm without targeting him?
Yes, I don't see why not.
Okay, then I shall do so. However, I can't target them. I guess I can in the combat tracker.
Yeah.
And
That's
which one is that? Which swarm is that?
14.
Okay.
It's the bottom one.
They succeeded. Apparently, they were clever enough to duck into his clothing while the bells were tolling for them.
That's awesome. All right. Anything else you want to do, Delbert?
We need to leave. Everybody through the door.
Then keep moving.
And I will step through the door.
All right.
Idris sees him almost stop, and he's like, "Keep going."
All right. Now it's Idris's turn. I think it's the blue uniforms and the badges. That's why you all look alike.
One of us has a shield. All right, Idris is gonna. I mean, if we're technically trying to block this door, is that standing like right here? I guess for the giant rats.
Yeah, just with the swarms.
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to do is hold that spot.
All right.
My hex is still on that guy, so I'm gonna swing on the swarm of rats, and I yell out, "Don't let them combine! They'll become a rat king, and we can't handle that." Got a hit.
Hey, did you make your knowledge metagaming check? I did not see your knowledge metagaming check.
No, that's a 30 rock quote.
All right. So whack it. All right. You're hammering them.
Yeah.
It's hard to fight these things. They move all over. You're not doing as much damage as you think you should. Is there anything else
Well,
you want
that's
to do?
why
this
we
turn?
bring the necro. Yep. That's where I'm going to stop. And I tell Lightfoot, go. Go with Delbert. Or Quickfoot.
All right. Quickfoot is with Delbert. That swarm of rats. Let's see. It's going to stay on you. And they're all over you, but they don't shoot through your armor this turn. Top of the order. Penny, you're up.
I'm gonna attempt to get through the door behind Delbert. Is there a way to occupy this square?
Yeah, technically there is. All
Okay.
right.
Um, yeah, I can't really do anything about the swarms. That door's open, right?
That one is,
Well,
yes.
actually, yeah, I'll shoot at the swarm on Idris. Is that going to be worst case scenario? I hit him, which is like a win-win. So
All right, you're directly behind him shooting. You're short enough that you can choose to shoot between his legs. So I'll just give your target cover, as opposed to
okay, so -2.
-2, yes.
All right, cool. I will.
Delbert should be more
action.
worried than me if he misses.
And I'm going to take a vote on the party if you roll a 1 to see if you shot him in the junk. We'll make a decision then.
Don't disappoint Penny.
Please roll a 1. Please.
I'm just letting you know. If I roll a 1, I will not be re-rolling that. I will.
Do your damage, please.
Oh, I've never been more sad to hit.
No. There's a 1 in the number, so I would argue.
All right. You impale several of the rats as the arrow skids across the room and across the floor.
All right, that was me.
Jenabink, you're up.
So I deftly put away my acid flash gun and draw out a light hammer. I hate rats, and I'm going to thwack the rats and give absolutely no care that I'm probably thwacking them like into Idris's armor.
Oh, yeah, because they moved over on him, didn't they? Yeah, true. So the swarm of rats is over on it. Oh, hold it. Idris moved away.
Yes, that is accurate. Nope, that is accurate. You can go on Dilbert.
Hold it. Did we end up with... Sorry, DM's fucking up. All right, there we go. All right, go ahead. Bang on him.
Oops. I don't know which one it should take. Probably the first one, which missed.
Just roll again. All right, so you were banging away with your warhammer, all right? And you're squishing them one right after the other. All right. All right. They chew on you, Delbert.
Okay.
All right, Delbert, you're up.
All right. I'm going to take off with the swarm of rats in tow, I suppose.
No, you go. They stay in their square. Swarms don't have zone of control or area effect attacks. Correct, gentlemen?
If you're in them, you're taking the damage. Or they're attacking you, yeah. They're
Right,
not reach.
yeah. They don't threaten. Yeah.
But they threatened the two shortest members of our party. I mean, they ran off all scared.
So is it possible to also seal this door with Idris on the side with the rats?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's too bad you only had one python.
I've got 9 more.
And I'll turn around and toll the dead on them as I'm headed on out.
All right, they have line of sight on them. I'm going to.
And they have taken damage.
They have, yes.
Yep.
All right.
Boom.
And they just start exploding and dropping down the ground. All right. Idris.
I'm still angry about how you've ruined everything for us. I'm gonna swing on that rat swarm, and I'm like, "This is what you get for your betrayal." Boom, and I will back it up to here.
Quickfoot is hanging. He's tucked right down in your backpack now. He's just totally out of the way.
Okay.
And they're kind of running out of steam, all right? There's only about 15 rats left. Penny, you're up.
Again, it would be a horrible, horrible shame if the shot went wide and I hit Idris. But we'll see. You know, worst case, right, guys?
Wow.
It does bounce
Oh,
off. Idris, an arrow sinks into your shield.
that was
What the?
definitely not aimed at you, Idris. Don't worry.
I understand you're frightened. It's shaky hand syndrome.
All right.
That's me.
Jenna, you're up.
I stare at the little hammer in my hand and realize that it was not nearly as cathartic as I was hoping, and I go back to my acid splash gun.
Delbert, there is a large rat just came cooking around the corner towards you.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. Are you done, Jen?
I am done, although there is some, as I move, muttering about um, field combat training.
There's so many of them. I see that little one jump at them. I'm like, don't do it.
All right. Swarm of rats 16. Penny, they're all over you.
I'm the breeding rat again.
That group pushes through the door. Delbert, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to move, and I'm going to toll rat number 5. Actually, you know what? I'll stick with the swarm that is on Penny.
All right. Nice. All right. Penny, they're all over you. They're in your hair. They're biting your face. They're clawing at you. They're scraping your, scraping. You can feel them biting your wrist. They're in your boot. And you hear bong, big sonorous sort of bell toll, and they explode. They're starting to drop off of you. So about a third of them just drop off your body. All right. Now you're covered with rat intestine and gore, but there's less of them.
Get off me. Go eat him. He's the one that gave you the food.
You're already at. I will give Penny inspiration for that because it made the DM laugh. Idris, you're up.
But he's the one who didn't feed you. As I move out of this Category 5 rat hurricane, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna close the door with my foot. I'm gonna put my foot down next to the door like you would when someone's trying to bust in. You like to kind of hold it, and I'm gonna swing on this rat swarm that's still in front of me.
You hit.
And I was like, I'm gonna send you to the sky right now.
And you do.
All right, and you hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer, and finally they go away.
I was like, this is no time to rest on our laurels, people. Swarm's still incoming.
All right, Quickfoot is very happy where Quickfoot is. Quickfoot from his shoulder. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have him try that. You hear Quickfoot chattering at the big rats, and they look at him, bare their teeth, and come forward. All right. Top of the order. Penny, rats all over you.
Go eat him. He's the one who tastes better. Eat that one. And then I'll move my hunter's mark to rat number 19 and shoot at it.
Arrow streaks across the room, strikes them, pinning several of them to the wall.
That was on the big boy rat, the 19.
Oh, okay, cool.
Giant rat.
Yeah, so you stinking arrowed right into him, and he is gone.
But I think it's time we start leaving.
Yeah, I agree.
Jenna Bink, you're up.
I'm going back to cathartic melee and pulling out my spear this time.
Are you
I
dropping
know we
your
all
hammer?
look alike. I know we all look alike.
No, you had time to put your hammer up. No, you didn't. So you're going to leave your hammer behind? Because you cast your spell, right?
Yeah.
Screw it. Go ahead and stab him with your spear.
Oh my God, Jen, you keep moving me. I know we all look alike, us small people, but
I was wondering why I moved back. Well, because you weren't next to me before last I knew.
oh, you're just
Stop moving.
You're just like the
stand-
rest of them now, Jen. Lumping us small people together.
Stand there and take it like a Docre.
You gnomes are the worst.
We are. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hitting things. Yeah, I'm hitting things. I'm hitting things a lot.
You're killing things,
Nice.
too. Jenna comes running
Yeah.
up with her spear. Ah! Poof, and shish kebabs the thing, lifts it up, and twists the spear, shaking the corpse up. It's the ground, rolls over, and twitches. It's gone.
You hear from around the corner, what about your ethnographic studies?
Swarm of Rat 16. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to happen.
I'll study their burial rituals.
Swarm of Rat 16 has entered the game.
All over you, man. Yeah, they can move there. They can't attack, though. So, ta-da. They don't automatically attack when they move into the square anymore, right? They have to still have an action, right?
If they have the attack action.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he doesn't. So, all right, Delbert, you're up.
Okay. Then I will toll the new group.
Unwounded. And they resist.
Oh, that hit Penny.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Penny resists.
I'm just getting attacked on all sides now.
She's got that sun pass.
There. That's with the rats.
The rats, however, do not resist. And Penny, you're never going to get used to this, but they literally explode when he does this.
She's gonna have a phobia of rats and bells.
Delbert, anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to continue making my way toward the egress. So, that looks good.
All right. Idris.
I am going to use a bonus action to move the hunter's mark onto this rat swarm, and go to town on them and say, "Look at all the death and destruction you brought upon your people." Oh, yep, hero point. I'm not going down like that.
Burn your hero point. You hit.
Because you said Hunter's mark, not hex.
Oh, hex, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Throw a 19, get that guy?
That does.
That's right. Idris never misses. Let it be said. Oh, don't roll the damage on myself. That would be terrible.
Perhaps some of the most effective you've been. You're getting better at it, all right? They're still hard to kill with your sword. They're just so elusive, but you're stomping them, you're hammering them, you're hacking them, and you do a fair amount of damage. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's it. Except give my blessings to Hirsch for such a great performance here.
Quickfoot is very happy climbing back out of Delbert's bag, getting up on Delbert's shoulder. All right. So, says to Delbert, "Is there anything you need, boss? I'm more than willing to go grab stuff for you. What do you need?" All right. Penny, top of the order, round 7. Penny, surrounded by rats.
Penny is going to make a tactical withdrawal and move my hunter's mark to that swarm and shoot at it.
Very good.
I said go eat him. He tastes way better. Oh, I can't even see him now. I don't even know where that guy's at. But go eat the guy around the corner.
You hit. A few more of them drop dead. Jenna, you can still hear the chittering of rats behind you. Around the corner, you hear Idris calling for Hirsch and swinging with his sword, slashing and smashing them. There's another swarm of rats coming towards you. Penny runs away from it, cursing at it, and shoots back. What do you do?
Well, on average, if we hear silence for approximately 24 seconds, then we should worry. But for right now, I think we're safe, or at least he's kind of safe. I will shoot my acid thing at the swarm of rats. I will do damage.
So this ball of acid strikes them and they just dissolve, passes right through them, and every one of them that's touched is gone. Go ahead.
And I'm going to move as far over that way as I can manage to try to get an angle to see if Idris is actually still alive.
You can hear
I know
him.
I can't see him from there. Okay. So I've got, I'm counting in my head seconds, It's 24 seconds. About that long, sure.
They can't get through that armor, Idris. They're chewing on you, but they cannot get through it.
House Regan quality on sale.
Jenna, these things suck. You're getting bit, you're getting pinched on. Fortunately, the swarm's not as big as it was, or it would have been much more damaging. But you're hurt. They're biting your cheek, they're biting your hands, they're biting your legs, they're getting into your clothes, they're nasty. Delbert, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to toll them once again.
They're wounded. They do not save.
Nice. Finding that rat swarm hitbox is tricky.
All right. They Jenna, there's about 4 or 5 of them left on you. A bunch of them just start to explode. So when he does this, all right, you hear the bell, and the bodies just sort of pop. All right, so you're covered in gore. There's stuff all over you, but there's much, much fewer of them than there once was. Idris, you're surrounded. They're trying to get inside your armor. They're chewing on you. They're trying to get to you. So far, they haven't been able to get through.
I see my opportunity to show them the error of their ways. I'm going to cast another concentration spell, so my hex is going to go off. I'm going to switch to my Hexblade's Curse. I'm going to throw that on the rat swarm that I'm fighting right now. So when I roll this roll, I just got to put 1 extra point of damage on him, Tad, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't have it built in yet, so. And I swing on the. Oh, nope, almost dropped that on myself and ended my life. This is Rat Swarm 16 that's on me, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I swing on him. I hit him. Whoops, it's this damage. Nope, again, I almost threw it on myself again. They die. Perfect. And as I'm swinging on them, I burst out into song because that's what our Lord Hirsch likes to do. And I'm just like, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of Hirsch, our Lord. He is trampling through the rat kingdom and their pitiful rat swarms.
Unfortunately, I think he's still alive.
I was
He's
gonna.
clearly not following your rules about being quiet. I mean,
No, but now all the rats will come to him and eat him, so this is not the worst thing.
I still have 5 on me. I'm
And I,
kind of being quiet.
and I also healed for 6 hit points.
All right.
Tad, so I'll put that on myself.
Quickfoot says, "Glowy, glowy." What the heck's his name? His good God, anyhow, Delbin? What's the
House
name
of Regan, he yells out.
House of Regan. All right. Penny, you're up.
I will attempt to very carefully shoot the remainder of the rats off of Jenna.
All right, they're gonna have cover.
Cool.
I swear to every deity, if you roll a 1 now.
Make it so.
I'm flirting with it. I'm flirting with it right now. I will find that one.
So you wear scale mail, right? Jen, you wear scale mail, right? So anyhow,
I believe that's true, yes.
arrow comes in and goes poof, and falls off your armor, and you see 2 of the scales kind of part, and the padding underneath absorb the blow, and you're like, oof. All right, and you look across, and you see Penny go. All right, Jenna, they're on you.
I'm not sure that Penny would shrug like that.
That's true. Penny, do you shrug like that?
Nah, I mean, she shouldn't have been there. That was her fault. Why would you stand in the way of my arrow? It was supposed to kill that rat.
So, all right, so you look across, and you see Penny giggling. So go ahead, Jenna, you're up.
Fantastic. I will step away from this swarm and go back to where it's safer near Penny and hope that they, target her. And woo, I do damage again.
You turn
Take
and
that!
hurl a ball of acid, and it lands in the middle of the swarm, and they dissolve. 2 rats scurry off. No longer a threat. All right, you guys don't hear motion. You've been surrounded by squealing, you've been surrounded by chittering, you've been surrounded by motion. You don't hear motion. It's silent.
No, it's not, because Idris yells, "Get to the stairway!"
Exactly that. That's where Delbert's headed.
All right, so everybody goes and hits the stairway and starts to head back up to the surface, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
what we are going to do is we are going to stop and take a brief, um, 5-minute bathroom break, if that works for everybody.
Sure.
Yep.
Sounds
So,
good.
all right. Thank you, everybody. We're going to be back soon.
Well, I know what my next song's gonna be.
I have that stuck in my head. Thank you very much.
The Battle Hymns is the next one. I'm gonna drop Living in America and put that as song number 4. Hiding from the Wizard's Cabal, or Running from the Inquisition is what I was gonna call that one, but
Hey everybody, we're back. Hey everybody, we're back. How are you? All right, so let's see. We had decided we were going to pull back to the surface and go back to the city of Blackmoor. And if you guys remember, it's not a real quick trip up to the city of Blackmoor. You know, it's not, you have to descend for 2 or 3 minutes, so you've got a long trek up the stairs. So while you are in passage, is there anything you are doing as you're going up to the surface? You are actually covered in gore. That is absolutely totally true.
I will do the thing where I wave my hand and we're not covered in gory, smelly shit anymore. It does seem like we're trying to get each other killed quite often.
So, Delbert, Delbert, would you do me a favor and describe casting prestidigitation for us? Hey, hang on, folks. We're missing audio on everybody else. I gotta fix that.
The break.
We're still muted.
Yeah, you're still muted. All right. All right, the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the players.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, the players can. You are now being heard. So go ahead. So we are going to go back up to the surface, and there was a brief discussion about who's got the thing that lets you up, right?
Yes,
All
and
right.
that's me.
Okay. Delbert, would you please describe casting prestidigitation? You know what? That was so good, folks. I want to rewind and edit. Penny, would you please make the request from Delbert again to address the problem you're having?
Delbert, can you do the thing where you wave your hands and then all the horrible shit that's covering us goes away? With the thing with the waviness, with the magic and stuff.
And I wave my hands, and all the horrible goo and stuff evaporates off of him in a puff of smoke. And I do the same for each of us in turn. As I get to Idris, I'm gonna say, I saw what you did.
Of course, we all did and heard it. And I go, don't clean this off me. I want them to know that I was successful. You all came out looking like a bunch of fresh smelling people. I want them to know we made progress.
Yeah, you can leave rat shit looking like that. That's probably fine.
Don't do your waving magic hand thingy around me. No. Only Karen can do that when she's working on my cuticles.
Idris, insight, please, in the tower.
All right. Going into my deep bench of skills with bonuses.
Yeah, he's fine. Everything's good.
Oh, of course Idris is fine.
And we will continue up the path, and I will place the seal on the door and do the thing.
Penny and Jenna, go ahead and you guys make insight checks also. Okay. Penny, humans, let's get up to the surface. It's so nice to not be covered in gore. And Jenna, Delbert's kind of mad, and you're not certain.
I intently stare at Delbert.
Delbert's not actually staring at you. He's staring at
No,
Idris.
that's fine, but I'm staring at Delbert so that I can
Why?
I am prepared to take notes.
Why are you staring
Okay.
at him so hard? Did he miss something? Is there like rat entrail behind his ear or something? What are you looking at?
No. You have to like watch this because apparently Delbert is mad at someone that's not me. So I'm trying to take notes to be able to identify this faster in the future.
Wait, who's he mad at?
And I'll put
Because
the
humans
seal on
always
the
mad
door.
at each other.
You
What is
open the
going on?
door and you open the door,
He's mad
correct?
at Idris.
You're ignoring
Correct.
Delbert. You're ignoring everybody and you open the door, correct?
Why is he
Yes.
mad at Idris? That doesn't make any sense. I don't.
I
Why do these
I
humans
don't
always get so
know.
mad at each other? I mean, I understand
I don't
Idris
know.
he does a lot of dumb stuff and he like tries to, make friends with evil rat things that want to eat us. But I mean, that's just normal Idris behavior.
You hear in Elven. Do you speak Elven, Delbert?
Do I speak Elven? That's a good question that I don't remember the answer to. Yes, I speak Elven.
You hear on the other side. Gatekeeper, they come! They come! Delbert, would you drop a D20 into the tower for me?
Just a straight D20, huh?
Yep. All right. So you hear in common, so who is behind the door?
We're the keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper?
Took you guys 3 sessions to get that out. Thank you so much. So
We didn't want to get sued.
I am
Right.
the gatekeeper.
Well, we are the keymasters.
Ask
Delbert-
me your questions. I am not afraid.
Delbert Galen.
Who is with you, Delbert Galen?
Penny, Jenabink, Idris. What's your name again,
don't-
little rat dude?
Yeah, don't forget the little weird rat thing person.
Quickfoot.
Quickfoot.
It has been nigh on 2 months since you left. Explain to us the delay.
Well, clearly you guys don't know how to count time. You just 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. 2 months. I've only been down here a couple hours. Come on, open up.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say Idris is right, but Idris is right. It has only been approximately 12 hours since we left.
But if it has been 2 months, I want my back pay.
The door is open. All right. And you see a group of Kamasti warriors and the gatekeeper standing there. All right. And there's a shimmer in front of you that you saw them do before. It looks like they have a wall of force in front of you right now. And they are ready to act. And the gatekeeper looks at you and he says, well, you have come out. Sometimes time does dilate and change as people pass down into the dungeons of Castle Blackmoor. I am glad to see you have returned. We had given you up for lost. Please, come in.
Of course, I'm coming out. I want the world to know.
That you
Step
are
out.
covered in rat shit. Yeah, well, the world knows. Oh my god, it has been 2 months. You look ancient.
Now, many things have happened since you have been gone.
Such as?
The Arfidi touched the borders, as they always do. Skandahan have raided along the coast. So, many things. Has been several caravans have come from the south, from Thonia. So there have been many things, many things. Come, sit. And they walk you back in, and there's actually a little room about 10 by 20, big room, little room D&D style. That's got a table in it, and they pour you some wine, and they put some water out, and they put some food out, and you guys actually realize you are tremendously hungry, like ravenous. Like the minute you smell the food, you start to salivate. So, and are you going to not eat, or are you going to sit down and
No,
have something to
I'm
eat?
gonna fall on that like the rats fell on my rations.
You got it. So you sit down and you start eating. Are the rest of you
Of
going to eat?
course.
I will eat as well. Yes.
All right. So if you're not going to eat, you're going to have to make a will save to not be compelled to eat because you're so damn hungry, just because you're shaking from how hungry you are right now.
And I
So,
look at
I'll eat.
Quickfoot. I
all
look
right.
at Quickfoot and tell him, "See, we still have things in common. We're both hungry. Get in here, friend."
Quickfoot is, comes up on Delbert's shoulder, cleans himself, rubs his head on Delbert, and goes back down into his cowl of his cloak. Doesn't seem to be talking.
Oh, go for it.
No, but I think your rat is broken.
He did say they were dumber up here.
Yeah, I mean, like it used to do the whole talking
Apparently, he
thing.
really meant dumber.
Yeah, it's not doing the whole talking thing now, so I think it's broken.
Right.
I would just throw it away. You can probably get a new one down there.
No, 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 no. Don't throw it away. We need to study it. There could be arcane science involved.
Or ethnographnowats.
Ethnograph of what?
I told you before you cannot do an ethnographic study with one subject.
I understand. I'm doing an ethnographic study on this meal here. Should get in.
Actually, you can do that. So yes, the cultural things associated with this kind of event are actually quite complex. And when you take into account the fact that you have several different cultures embracing a single meal at a table following a time dilation event of 2 months, I mean, I could write a paper just on this. I should write a paper on this.
Is this happening
Idris-
in between bites, or is
Idris
your mouth
stops.
full?
I would say a sentence, shovel, shovel, shovel. Say a sentence, shovel, shovel, shovel.
You guys dust down about 4,000 calories worth of food. I mean, you're sitting there eating for a good half hour, 45 minutes. They're giving you milk, they're giving you cider, and the gatekeeper and the guard are talking to you, all right, trying to get a feeling what happened. So the gatekeeper says, and so describe what you saw down there. Please, 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 tell me.
There was some rats and stuff, and like some stone, and some swarms.
So, did you keep a map of the space?
Was we supposed
Only.
to keep a map of the space?
Only in the most general sense in my mind. I can draw it here for you.
Describe the layouts of the rooms. Go ahead and make a. Well, go ahead. You just described the layouts of the room. All right, Jenna Bink, I can't imagine, doesn't have notes on the layouts of the rooms.
I have notes on the layouts of the rooms. I also have notes on. I also took notes on. There were several arcane symbols that we saw on the various populations of creatures that we encountered, including carrion crawlers and rats, and these things that burst out of the columns of the rock. They were very interesting and nearly killed us.
Don't forget the spiders.
Oh yes, and the spiders. The spiders also had arcane marks, and I would show them pictures of them from my notebook.
Jen, I made a notes file that was symbols, so you guys now all have access to the symbols very easily, and I labeled them symbol 1, 2, and 3 for you, in the order that you encountered them. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
It just all of a sudden stops. And it's like, wait, what did you say? 2 months? I just made 200 gold in allowance. This is the best dungeon maneuver ever.
So as you're talking to the gatekeeper goes, so the basement, the first room is the same, and the layout of the larger tunnels and passageways seems to be the same. But what the layout, and he's talking, if you speak Elven, you understand him. So he's and so he's talking to the other elves, and he's saying layout of the major hallway seems to be the same, but the minor hallway seems to be different. So, and one of the other elves says, has anyone come across rats and spiders before? And one of the other guys goes, once before I remember that. And so they're rattling back and forth. If you speak Elven, you understand what they're saying. If not, you're going to have to give me insight checks to get some idea what they're talking about.
Excuse me. Clearly, you guys are discussing some of the things that we did, and I would be very appreciative so I can add it to my notes and include it in my research papers. I will give you citations.
Jenna Bink, did you make an insight check?
I didn't because I just want them to not be speaking a language I can't understand in front of me.
That's fair. It's all right. That's fair. Yes.
Welcome to real life.
So the gatekeeper.
Is this just fantasy? Are we caught in a landslide?
No escape from reality.
The gatekeeper sits down across from Jenna, and he leans forward and he goes, sometimes, actually quite often, it is not the same. And we, as we speak to you, are comparing notes. We formulate theories. We have not tested them all, but it seems as if the layout of the dungeon has changed substantially now. So there are different things than there were before. And I am concerned. Concerned. We are collecting information. Fletcher will meet with you and debrief you and speak to you after we have finished what we must do. But yes, it is
And
of
what's
interest
that?
to us. Talk to you, feed you, take care of you. Mhm.
Okay.
So, make certain that none of you have been possessed. We do not believe that is the case at this point. Check you for infernal taint, which and he looks over at one of the elves, and the elf shakes his head no. So we believe you have passed through what you passed well. So, and I must congratulate you. It is uncommon, but not rare for time to flow unevenly. And you lost time. Some people gain time. They will spend days below, and no time passes. They will a party, a group, some 11 years ago, descended into the depths and did not return for 8 years. And to them, they had only been gone 2 days. So time sometimes is tricksy. But so it's been about 40, 45 minutes. You guys are sitting there eating, all right, and coming down the long slope, all right, you see a really elegant Hythonian woman, and Delbert, you immediately recognize it as your mother Frida, and she comes down, and she's walking faster than would be fully decorous, and she stops, and she smiles, and she goes, Delbert, it's very good to see you. I had a runner posted that if you returned, they were to come and tell me immediately, and I am glad you have returned to us. And of course, she's a noble, and she has probably used her privilege to secure access. And I came as soon as I heard that you were free and they would let me. And your house is on the um, Street of Kings, which leads directly up to the castle and has all the major temples on it. I mean, you guys are nobles from Blackmoor, so you have a very nice house there. So it's about 10 minutes for her to come pouring there. So she's probably been waiting outside for a little bit. But
And he takes a big bite of food. Who's the broad?
and she curtsies to you and she goes, you are Petty, are you not?
Yeah, that's me. You don't have to curtsy or do anything fancy. I mean, I'm not that kind of person. You can just say hi.
I am Frida Galen. I am the matriarch of House Galen, and Delbert, I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I seem over eager, but you were gone so long. We thought we lost you. And Penny, you are a traveler beneath the dungeons. You are a ward of the Regency Council, and of course, I'm going to defer to you and recognize the sacrifice that you make and respect who you are. So become accustomed to respect from those who know the sacrifice and risk you take. So,
I'm just Penny. You ain't got to do none of that.
very good, Penny. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Idris.
And I'll stand up, of course, and you know, go up to Mother and give her a hug and tell her, sorry I was gone so long. I time flows differently there. I don't know.
She hugs you, all right, very tightly, all right. She steps back and puts her hands on your shoulders, and she looks at you and she goes, I was so worried, Delbert. We thought we had lost you. You were gone so long, and it was your first time in, and I know that I, your father and your sister and your nephew will be so glad to see you, as will your brother and
You,
his
you,
wife.
you seem a
Uh,
little beat up. You want a turkey leg or something?
she walks
Idris
over.
stands up.
She walks over. No, no, not quite. And she takes a crystal goblet, pours herself a glass of wine, sniffs it, tears, takes a sip, leans back. And Delbert or Regan Idris is standing up as she does this, correct?
Yes.
She goes, Sir Regan.
Yeah, so I've never met her before. So I stand up and I turn to Penny and I say, that is no way to greet a woman of such high standing. Madam Galen, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Idris Regan. I was so thankful to be able to take care of your boy down there and make sure he was not harmed in any way. As you can see, I've taken all the risk upon myself while they were able to stay fairly clean under these most trying circumstances. And I want you to know, I will make sure nothing happens to your son. I will make it my priority as we go down there.
Yeah,
And
your boy cleaned us off, and then he insisted on still being covered in rat shit. I'm not really sure why, but I guess that's like some noble thing of how you say hi and meet each other. I don't get it.
hang on.
It,
Oh, that is the wrong button.
well met, Idris Regan. I respect profoundly the sacrifices you're willing to make for your comrades.
Sacrifices. Wait a minute. Because did I miss something? I mean, I realized that I caused a lot of problems, but last I checked, I used the staple gun and I fed the potion to Delbert. So what exactly did Idris do?
Well, leadership is a quality of mine that I have in spades, and I want to make sure that as this team continues to progress, we understand that we work together as a unit and not as individuals. That is the only way we will be able to get through these trying times.
You have definitely established yourself as a unit, Idris. That has definitely happened. Most definite.
I think you might have mispronounced that word, Penny, but we might be close.
Delbert, you
Eunuch?
have such interesting friends. I would offer you as soon as the gatekeeper releases, Delbert, if I would offer you the comfort of our house this evening. I will have hot water drawn for all of you so you'll bathe. We will provide greater repast, and Delbert, I am absolutely certain that you conducted yourself in a manner suitable of a Galen, that you were stalwart and true to your friends, and stood beside them and took risks that you felt necessary for your friends and the people you travel with. And I do not doubt your valor, but I want to thank all of you too for helping my son come home safely. Thank you. And
Uh,
I must withdraw. I will have dinner prepared for you when you arrive, and I will have baths drawn, and you may stay in our guest rooms tonight as you need to. And thank you so much. And the gatekeeper leans over and says something to her, and she goes, "Oh, I am so sorry. Um, Jenna Bink, would you like me to send word to your mother and father also?"
I was actually going to just say that dinner sounds lovely, except that I would rather have dinner with my parents. But if they're invited too, everyone can be happy.
Very good. I will make certain your mother and father are in attendance. And
Oh, thank
she
you.
curtsies to you all, reaches forward and squeezes Delbert's hand, looks straight into his eyes, and then turns and withdraws.
It was so nice to meet a woman of such quality, Delbert. Your mother is such a fine example of what the nobility can aspire to here in Blackmoor.
Deception check necessary or no?
No.
All right, awesome.
Did I get a response?
Yes, you do. What did you ask me, Delbert?
Um,
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Those telepathic messages take longer these days.
I know they do.
See, if we were like other shows and we had advertisers, this is where we would start talking about the advertising. But we don't have that.
Actually,
Here,
you do have some outstanding Regan made armor.
yes, quite. Look at the protection it provides. We can sell them at wholesale. Oh, yes.
And then we have to remove all Tad's typos, which can be epic, as you all know.
Reading TAD is very much akin to reading a different language, so you would almost have to invest into intelligence points to that.
Oh, shoot.
Comes up in
Sorry
a different
about that.
font.
Sorry about that.
My bug said Tad sent the message to the wrong person messaging him.
I just see it posted in the chat.
He's giving away state secrets.
Giving away state secrets. What the hell is wrong with you, Tad?
I don't know. That's prettier.
Oh yeah, if you just do everything in Elvish, the only person who'll be able to understand you is.
There we go, although it is what it is.
I can't read that.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, then you don't have Elven.
You probably
do
did
have
the classic.
I
I do have
he listed it.
Elvish, which apparently is the name
There you
of...
go.
There we go. Okay, so since everybody already knows what I'm talking about, I'll say in Elvish, as far as I'm aware, it's not a crime to be a sorcerer. It's a crime to practice sorcery. Is that correct?
Well, one could say being a sorcerer and practicing sorcery are one and the same thing. Depends on how you use that magic. I mean, we do re-educate them for a reason.
Do you speak Elvish?
Oh, sorry, you were saying it in the thing. My bad. Bleh,
No worries.
Rewind.
If you guys want to have a secret Elvish conversation thing, we can all just mute our stuff.
Oh, wow. That would actually work for you guys. I'd read your lips.
What if I do this?
I'm toast. So
Yeah,
now
you
that
gotta
now that
trust
we
me,
go,
having seen Tad with a face mask on, he can't understand anything.
I can't. Yeah, it's like a third of my hearing, and I didn't realize it until I walked around and everybody had face masks, and I'm like, damn, Kent, what'd she say? But anyhow,
So Penny, how much experience do you have dealing with cats?
I mean, I've eaten cat before. It's not my favorite of meals, but you know, when you're starving on the street, it'll do in a pinch.
how hard are they to catch? I need details about cats because after those last encounters, I believe I need to focus on making constructs of feline entities so that we can have better allies going down there.
You want them caught alive or dead? Because dead's real easy. You just hit them with an arrow and they fall down, and then you take them and eat them.
Or
Well,
you could just buy them.
Delbert, go ahead and make a
it's true.
go ahead and make a persuasion check in the tower, please.
Do you want alive or dead cats?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I want cats, although certainly adopting them would be a thing. Although I'm very bad at keeping things alive that aren't my friends. So I just want things to study.
Because I'm just saying, I've met some cat ladies in the past, and you seem like you'd fit in. If you really want some cats, I could probably work that out for you.
I just want to study cat ladies. Are they actually? I didn't realize there was a race of people that had cat-like features. Is that what you're talking about?
No, they're just ladies who live alone with nobody else in the world loving them but a bunch of cats.
They are a downtrodden and pitiful group who need our help.
Well, I mean, cats can't really love you. They're just cats. I mean, clearly that's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand why anyone would be a cat. Did you say crazy cat lady? So that also implies that they have some kind of mental health issues, and that is not being addressed. I mean, clearly that is the larger issue here.
Well, I don't know. If you want to try and fix that, you can. But I'm just saying, I've seen some ladies, they have a bunch of cats living with them, and then they just sit there. I don't understand it myself. I mean, cats good to eat, but I don't know else why you'd want to keep one.
Some of them
So
even
are you
push wheelbarrows around.
Are you staying at the Galen house this evening?
Who are you talking to, me?
All of you?
I don't know.
I believe it would be only the right thing to do, as an invitation has been offered, and it would be insulting not to accept and go and show our gratitude to your house and to your family.
Well, I'm certainly going, especially now that my parents are invited. Although I may, go back to their house afterward. It depends on how things go. I mean, social events frequently end in me leaving early.
Is the food gonna be free, or like is it the BYOB kind of thing? Like what's the type of thing going on here?
Yes, you'll be guests. Of course.
So do I need to bring my own food? Like
You do not.
You will not even need to put his service to the test. It is one of the best I've heard in Blackmoor.
it's an inn in Blackmoor now? What? I'm very confused. What's going on? Are we staying at an inn? Do I need to bring money?
No, no,
You
no,
do
no, no.
not.
It's this thing where people show appreciation, even to us little folk, and most of the times they get our names right too, and they just give you more. Like here, they gave us free food. It's more free food and apparently hot baths, and I'm all about the hot bath right now. Although the twirling princess thing that you did, Delbert, was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I'm okay with the free food and the hot bath, but just make sure they don't touch my stuff or go through my things while I'm taking a bath or eating or nothing, because I don't want anybody, hawking my wares.
Oh, no, no, no. Don't worry. The nobility very rarely steal in the form of petty larceny. They have much better ways of stealing and otherwise corrupting economic things.
Well, that is an unfair assessment of our economic status. We do try to trickle
I
down
agree.
the gold to the other lesser unfortunate races. There are ways that we try and do this. And yes, it is not perfect, but no one has put forth other proposals at this time that we've heard, but I'm willing to listen and engage with you on this very important topic.
Well, happily, economics is not arcane science, so I have absolutely no desire to learn more about that.
Some say it's as complex or even more than that.
Okay, so from what I'm understanding, I don't need to bring any money and or food to this place tonight. Am I gonna get an address, Galen? How do I even know where to go?
Jenna and Penny, can you both give me an insight check into the tower?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Will it be a
Okay.
good one?
Thank you.
Probably not.
Thank you. So, One of the elven guards standing next to you as you're having this kind of conversation leans down and says, Penny, you helped her son survive, and I believe she will treat you as an honored guest. There will be no cost to you. She will feed you. She will hold you in veneration. And
I,
he pats your hand on your shoulder and looks down in your eyes and he says, "So it's like being a kinsman. When a kinsman comes home, don't you greet them?" Then he stands up.
yeah, I mean, I don't really have no kin, so I don't know how that works. Or this veneration thing. It sounds a little
Well,
violent
it's
to me.
nothing like prison.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's more
not
like
prison
being
sounds good.
it's more like being the head of a parade.
There's gonna be a parade
No,
in your house.
maybe, probably not.
Sometimes
Ma-
nobilities do like to do the thing where you show up and they announce you and try to make you feel important by reading a whole bunch of titles that you really don't have, but they make up at the time.
There very well could be dancing. No promises.
All right, so I got free food and probably a place to crash for the night. I'll be there if you give me an address or something. Just
Okay.
this
Oh,
sounds
hey,
weird.
you know where the Galen household is, all right? It's one of the nicest physical houses in Blackmoor, and it's on the Street of Kings, all right? So there are 7 noble compounds, like this is where the noble families are based, and some of them are higher up in the hierarchy than others. Some are just merchants who have managed to, purchase a pedigree. But you know where this house is. It's like, it's a town with about 5,000 residents and, 500 to 2,000 people in it all the time. So everybody knows where the swanky street is and the best houses. All right. So you know where it is.
Yes, that place. That's the one.
Yeah. So when you guys went to the temple of Odir to go up the Street of Kings, you would have passed by actually Delbert's house. So
Oh, I think I remember your house. It was the really nice one that had that gold inlaid like chandelier thing at the top that looked very valuable and loosely aligned to the roof.
it's also got a fountain in the front of it that Jenna's parents helped make.
We have many chandeliers. Some of them are made from crystal.
So are you guys physically making it your way to the city of Blackmoor now, or to the house?
Yeah, well, if the gatekeeper is releasing us to go, then yes, absolutely.
All right. So
I need to make a detour, and then I'll meet up with them.
As we're walking, I am repairing any flaws in my armor from the various battles with mending.
Idris, they are very interested in your sword all of a sudden.
Oh, the guards.
Yeah, the gatekeeper specifically.
I unbuckle it and I hold it up and I tell them, "This was given to me while I was in the dungeon. Would you like to take a closer look?"
And his eyes pop open, and he looks over at Delbert, and he says, "Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is, Idris?"
Okay,
I do
do I
not.
know what this is?
Delbert,
Should
when
I?
he says that, go ahead and make a history check. Delbert, go ahead. He says a word and runs his finger down the blade, and when he does, you see runes start to pop up, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's a moonblade." And a moonblades are swords that are produced by elven houses and normally only passed from person to person to person within that bloodline. And normally they are only ever delivered to other elves. To see someone with that who is a human or a Thonian is incredibly unusual. And the gatekeeper, they were kind of paying attention, but when you mentioned something might have happened, they were paying a little bit more attention to Idris, and they're looking at the sword. And he goes, and the elf, the gatekeeper turns to Idris and he goes, Idris, do you know what this gift is?
From the way you're speaking about it, it seems like it is an important item from the elven people. It's something that was given to me. I explained the dream I had that was given to me and that I hold dear. It's what got me out of the dungeon alive.
So he holds the blade up, point down, and he points along the spine, along the side, and he goes, Shia Falanal. Shia Falanal. This house is extinct. This is an artifact that dates back to our passage from the other world into this world. And he says, he hands you back the sword. And he goes, and he looks at all of you, and he says, did Idris coerce anyone for this? Was this truly a gift? And he seems a little rattled, and you haven't seen this guy rattled. This guy's an ancient elf.
How dare someone impugn me? No, this was given to me by I
Idris,
assume it was a female elf.
Idris, I must ask your friends. Is what he says true?
It was presented to him quite solemnly, in fact, as if it were a ceremony.
Jenabink?
Yeah, we were fighting, and this elf person showed up, and they gave him the sword, and he was able to use it. And it's not like I was jealous or anything, because he's dumb.
Penny?
I don't think he stole it. I mean, I didn't really see no thing where he stole it, so probably not. But I didn't really see the interaction between him and the person. He could have told her that he was going to give her lots of money and then didn't, because Idris has done that before to women and made them do things in the bars. So he may have done that with this one too. I don't know.
I have no recollection of what you're talking about, sir. Ma'am.
Idris, I must report this to Ringlow Hall. And I believe you, but I am honor bound to ask questions of your friends also. What you have is precious and of interest to the elven people. This blade has been lost for generations. You must understand.
I do, and as it has been given to me by an individual who apparently is extinct, I shall make sure to be respectful and honor this blade and protect it with my life. And in a situation where I am unable to do so, I will make sure arrangements are taken care to have this blade returned to someone of at least approximate lineage or of the appropriate position who can accept this blade from my behalf to them to carry on your proud traditions.
Penny, go ahead and give me one more intuition check into the tower. Okay. All right, thank you.
Perhaps I may even take up learning Elven so I can better understand what is written on the sword.
May I?
You may.
And I will. Well, I meant Idris.
Oh,
For the sword?
Yeah.
Sure. Pass it over.
And I will start translating.
Um, it is. Go ahead and drop a intelligence check for me into the tower.
So I did remember something, I'll say to the gatekeeper that was asking about the sword. When he got the sword and she gave it to him, he did a very not human-like thing and fell into an elven rapture thing. I don't know a lot about them because they're not exactly arcane science, but that happened.
This is good to know. Thank you, Jettabink. So, based on the really good history roll you made and the intelligence check you made just to decipher ancient, ancient sigils and runes here, all right? You believe along the length of the blade is the names of the previous owners of the blade, and then on the opposite side, a rune that encapsulates their power, the power that is inherent in the blade. And as you're looking at things and you're consulting with the gatekeeper because he's asking you questions and he's helping you translate, uh, he believes that the sword is dormant at this point and that only a little bit of its power has manifested itself. So the first thing
Okay.
that happens is it's magical, right? And it glows. So
Did we mention the fact that the rats were sentient?
if not in the
We tried to
conversation,
in the beginning.
so you can bring that back up with the gatekeeper if you'd like to. So
Yes.
they spoke. Tell me of this.
In fact, this one spoke, and I'll fish out the rat who's buried in my pack,
His
but they
name is
don't speak
Quickfoot.
out here.
Normal little brown Norway rat. It's a very personable Norway rat. I mean, have you ever had a domesticated, or have you ever had or seen a domesticated rat as somebody's pet?
Sure.
All right, they're sweet little creatures once they've been domesticated. So it's hanging up on your shoulder, it's rubbing on itself, rubbing on you. It's pretty cool. It's really responding well to you and seems to be responding well to everybody else that you're with. A little bit hesitant about these elves, but seems to respond well to y'all. But it's a rat.
In fact, his name is Quickfoot, and we didn't give him that name. He gave it to us.
We will have to. I believe there will be additional study to understand exactly what is going on here. I mean, we have. We will consult the logs, but there have been reports of differences in creatures before as folks descended down into the dungeons. There have been, well, kobolds that were quite noble. There were dwarves who were foul-tempered and evil. So all things are not below as they are above in the Blackmoor as we know it. So perhaps this is another symptom of the same thing.
This one spoke of were creatures in levels lower than where we descended to.
Lycanthropes, you say?
Yes.
Of what sort?
Of this sort.
The rat variety.
Well, I am certain you will be finding silver to carry with you, will you not?
And that sword, and I'll point to the sword.
They also said that the were-rats had glowing blue eyes. Is that something you've heard of before?
Oh yes, that means someone has been or something has been possessed by the egg of Koot. That is a hallmark of his possession.
And why would we need Silva stuff?
Silver passes through the hide of a lycanthrope with ease, as if the blade were normal. If you do not have a silver weapon or a weapon that has been imbued with the magic of the arcane, then it will resist your blows, and your arrows, for example, would deflect or do much less damage.
Well, that sounds terrible.
It's one of the challenges of that sword.
Hell, who knows if it'll even be the same when we go back down.
All right. So, and the gatekeeper says, I will say this. Once you have seen, it has always been fixed. I do not have one instance in all the expeditions that have gone below where the dungeons themselves have changed once they have been fixed by the presence of the person who observes. So there are many, many theories. Fletcher will share them with you now that you have been below yourself.
Okay.
So head to your house.
Yes, head to my house.
All right. So you guys pass through the city. People aren't really seeming to notice you. Um, there's obviously, it's a Regan, it's a Gallon. They're traveling together side by side. All right. So there's people nodding to you both in deference. And you get to your house and you pass through the portcullis, which is drawn up, and there's this beautiful fountain in the front yard, in the front courtyard that is set with the family's crest. And your mother comes down, and she, has your sister with her. Hang on a second. And Megan is there, and she runs up, and she hugs you, and she's pretty happy to see you, to be honest with you. And Robert Galen also comes up, your nephew, and there's just this explosion of energy around you as they see you. And Robert walks up to Idris, and he looks up at Idris, and he goes, "So that's a sword, isn't it? I mean, I know what a sword is, but like, are you a knight?"
No, I am a paladin of Hirsch. I take
Oh.
my responsibilities to my lord seriously.
And he's like, "Wow, a paladin," and he's kind of smitten. And Megan comes and she grabs hold of Albert, and she wants to pull down. She goes, "I gotta tell you something."
And I'll lean down. Or do you mean Idris?
To Delbert. No,
Okay.
Delbert.
And I'll lean down.
She says, come to my room," and she grabs your hand, and she runs you inside, and your mother sees you go, and she goes, "Megan, don't." Well, she's excited to see her brother. "Please, please come inside." And she leads you into a large room and then goes to the right into what would be referred to as a drawing room or a parlor. And there are people inside. They begin to feed you. When somebody sees you come in, a harpist starts to play. I mean, they're receiving you in state. And Megan takes you up the main staircase hanging onto your finger and leads you into a room, all right? And her room has a canopied bed, all right? And there's a fireplace in the corner, all right? And her kittens are, there's two kittens playing on the floor. And she goes, "Delbert,
Yeah.
Delbert." She
What?
holds her hands and she opens a ball of flame. And she goes, and she throws the flame bolt into the fireplace. And she says, "It just happened. I can't control it." And that's where we end this session.
Wow.
All right.
Now Penny's got to assassinate Albert's little sister. That's for the
He didn't
Wizard's
know you
Cabal.
were an Inquisition hunter.
I'm a whatever pays
Wow.
the best.
All right. So,
Oh,
thank you so much for playing with me today, and sharing a bit of Blackmoor with us. And normal Tad questions. Let's go through them real quick. First of all, let's just open it up. So, what did you think about what you just saw there?
What, the whole session, or what just happened right at the end?
Just what happened at the end.
Someone's getting re-educated.
it's going to be very interesting from a metagaming perspective because I know nothing of that.
So, well,
Yeah.
here's the gig. For those of you who aren't familiar with Blackmoor and how Blackmoor operates, all right? And we'll talk about this a little bit next time. We're going to have to. Magic is highly, highly regulated, and this is something that occurred in the third edition of Blackmoor when, Dave and Dustin came up with the Cabal. Sorcerers, warlocks, any magic that is not trained and taught is considered hazardous and risky. And as you dive into the history of that, there's a bunch of different takes on it. But currently, the Wizards Cabal and the Arcane Warriors that serve them pursue, capture, re-educate anybody who exhibits powers as a sorcerer or who chooses to take infernal, or they assume it's infernal, bond and become a warlock. So Idris has to deal with the consequences of that. And of course, Delbert now has two things that he has to deal with, and he is a member of the Cabal. He has a sister, and he has his friend. So we're going to explore what that means in some very specific ways in terms of role playing, and that's just a little background for everybody, so they understand what's going on. I know some of you do, but all of you may not. So that being said, we'll hop back into our conversation. I'm going to start with Delbert. Delbert,
What was that?
where are you at emotionally? What are you thinking right now?
Uh, I'm a little horrified that she's casting magic without having any training, and um, of course, at this moment, it's more panic than anything else. Um, as far as Idris goes, I'm a little conflicted because Idris has definitely saved my life a couple of times, or at least contributed to doing that. Even though he's a little annoying at times, um, he's definitely stepped up at every opportunity, and um, surpassed everything I've ever heard about him. Um, so I'm conflicted as to whether or not to, try and arrest him for being a warlock. I've obviously I've witnessed him casting hex, and so I'm aware that he is. Then again, what happens in the bowels of Castle Blackmoor when we're not even sure if it's on the same plane of existence? Is it tied directly? Is it does it fall under the same rule of law? And there's questions involved. And but this issue with my sister makes it even worse, because now I'm harboring more than one uh, uh, sorcerer. So there you go.
Poor Delbert. Poor Delbert. So, Penny, I'm going to hop to you. Matt, what's your take on all this?
The events with the sorcerers right now.
Yeah. What do you? I mean, in the session in general. Let's get your take on things.
Well, my take on the sorcerer thing, at least Penny's take, would be the Wizards Cabal is just another organization attempting to repress people and keep them down. They're the man, and Penny is all about fighting the establishment, so she would be anti-Wizards Cabal in general. As for the session and traveling in Castle Blackmoor and getting out alive, it was very interesting to see how things change and whether or not it will continue to change once we go back inside.
You guys just tactically engaged in a very effective fighting withdrawal. Those are tough to do. I had you flanked from two sides. Now, granted, they weren't totally lethal opponents, but, just DM'd a player. That was well fought, because that could have been very, very, very ugly. And actually, for me, Matt, the turning point was you slapping the door down to keep me from dropping the hammer on you with everything at one time. You were able to break the fight up into pieces, and that was just really well done. So, good job, folks. So, Idris, where are you at? Let's talk a little bit about what your character discovered today and what you're saying. Because, I mean, if you don't know, PJ in the Living campaign, he wrote the Wizards Cabal story arcs, and he was actually a hardcore Cabalist. And so this is a different version of,
And an Eldritch Underground supporter at the same time.
I know, it was awesome. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
never caught. Well, yeah, never caught, never busted. Um, uh, I would say from Idris's perspective, it's legal till you're caught, and also from Idris's perspective, it's legal if you strike a deal. Now, if you know your magical law, which all spellcasters are taught, you're not supposed to cast inside the city. So, Delbert talking about, oh, it happens in Castle Blackmoor and stuff like that, you got to know the technicalities of the law. And that's why you play a noble. So, if that situation comes up for Idris, he already has a fallback to the fallback plan of what he's going to propose to the Cabal if they come knocking on his door. Because he's got wheeling and dealing going on.
I,
But on the other hand, Idris also understands the laws and what it takes to be a true leader these days after fighting all those rats. He may have turned over a new leaf.
I think something that's interesting to watch as a DM in terms of how you're role playing the character is how Idris sort of matures. It's some part of what's going on for me watching him is that entire Henry the Fourth, Henry the Fifth, Prince Hal kind of transformation. So you're definitely evolving the character in some very interesting ways, and I think the party is going to enjoy what you do, and our audience will enjoy also how you're having the character grow and change. So I really like it. So Jen, Jenna, and I saw this picture of you with your notes out as you were talking to the gatekeeper, going, "Oh yes, and by the way," and just it was awesome. So where's Jen at? Where's Jenna Bink at?
So it's interesting because the unfortunately some of the interactions today during the combat and such really reaffirmed the I have to be out there for myself because everyone's just going to stab me in the back or shoot me with an arrow and very nearly pierce my scale mail, Penny. And but then on with regards to the whole, it's going to be an interesting development for Jenna Bank with the sorcerer aspect of things. And I don't know that she's caught on that Idris is a warlock. I don't know that she's even necessarily thought about it.
I don't think she has.
Um,
Definitely something's going on between Delbert and Idris, but I don't think you're necessarily certain what's going on. And so I think that's fair. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no. So I think that her opinion isn't really even developed. She certainly doesn't have any close friends that are sorcerers because she's associated with the university. So you might have wizards going to the university, but you're not necessarily going to have open sorcerers because of the cabal.
Right.
So it's definitely gonna be the I didn't know that was a thing. I had heard all of the evil rumors and read the academic papers on from the cabal because clearly the cabal would control any academic research about sorcerers. It's all going to be slanted that way. So there might be some re-education in Genevink's corner as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we get to do role playing through it as a group is we get to work through all the social and ethical complexities of what the Wizards Cabal stands for. And, I'm all about, and you guys know that, putting you guys in morally ambiguous and challenging situations and having you think through how your character would react and how you're going to react individually and collectively. So I'm looking forward to that as a role playing challenge for all of us. And I very much appreciate all the good work that you've done. And I'm looking forward to seeing the four of you work through this as a conversation in the next session or so as we really start to put the pieces on the table and share what you're ready to share, but really start to come to understand how that relationship's going to work, and it's starting to work now. So it's very, very interesting. Something I've noticed is you're all damaged in some way except for Delbert. You're all pretty damaged in some way, and Delbert's is very innocent. So watching the interaction of the four of you has been really amazing for me. And I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for watching us today. And please, if you're a Prime subscriber and you got space, follow these folks. Subscribe to their channels, follow them individually. Support what they do, support what I do, support what we do together. And thank you so much. We'll see you next week, same time, 3 o'clock. And hey, Uther, once and always, right? Enjoy Blackmoor, and we'll talk to y'all very soon. Thank you so much.